Goodness, it's time to start the new day, the new moment, new whatever it is right now for you. And the way we start that off with is good morning, great morning, wonderful morning, spectacular morning, outstanding morning, magnificent morning. Oh, yes, the reminder of choice that we all have. Remember, everything is fundamentally meaningless. Everything just is. Nothing is good or bad. It's our thinking that makes it so. And it's how we think that leads us onto a frequency, which is the attractive force in your life. And again, think about that. You get to decide the frequency that you're going to step into. I love the reminder of what Neville Goddard shares about how there is an infinite number of states in front of you, an infinite number of versions of you. And with every one of those states, all of the plots, plans, dramas, and situations are lying there dormant, waiting to be activated. All that's required of you is to lock into that state, to become one with it. And when you do, everything will start to change solely based from you stepping into that. And what does he say? He says, if you're observant, you'll begin to see outer reality taking shape upon the model of your imagination. You'll begin to see the changes in your outer world happening solely because of what you shifted inside. And that's what we love to share with everybody here. This is why we have these calls to remind you that you get to do that. That's what we've been studying here in the Master Key System by Charles Haanel, which it's been so amazing to go through. I mean, my goodness, it's over 400 pages of awesomeness. There's actually 433 pages. And here we're at, my gosh, over the 400 mark, which has been amazing. Hasn't it been amazing, incredible? Now, with that being said, make sure you do have this copy with you, and also make sure that you have your goal card with you. And most importantly, use what's being shared. Apply it in your life, because if you do, you'll begin to see the outer changes. All right, so let's go into this, shall we? Let's go into where we left off. We're in the glossary, where we're going over specific words that have been embedded within this, and let's use it in our lives. Now, here, in terms of where we are, we're on page 407, and we're talking about individual. And what does he point out as individual? Well, he points it out as a complete, independent, single being, incapable of division without loss of identity. Now, remember, you are an individual. With that being said, the reminder for you is that the universe works through the individual. You can look at this metaphorically. Each soul, you, me, all of us, is a wave that belongs to the sea, but still breaks upon the shore in its own rhythm. Think about it. You are unique, even though you're the same. Now, again, really grab onto that. The next word that he uses is inexorable, not to be moved by entreaty, unyielding, unrelenting, implacable, inflexible. Now, this is a kind of a weird word, but with that being said, again, think about the definition. Remember, he placed this in the glossary because it's important for you to get. Do you have that embedded within your personality? Unyielding, unrelenting, unmoved by persuasion. Now, there are laws that are inexorable, all of which are there. You could think in terms of gravity. And when you think of gravity being Inexorable, inexorable law does not pity or punish. It simply is. It doesn't bend, it doesn't plea or prayer. It holds balance of all creation without any partiality. See, that is important to get and understand, especially when we're talking about laws. And again, you can use that with regards to you in terms of you being steadfast and resolute with how you would love things to be. Think about that for you when it comes to this. Now, the next word in the glossary is infinite, self existent, and all inclusive reality, unmeasured, undetermined, unlimited, independent of expression, yet including all expressions or actualized things, the absolute. Now, why would he include this in the glossary? Well, because it's important for you to understand that you are part of the infinite. In terms of limitation, there really is no limitation in you except for the limitations that you've agreed to. With that being said, the universe is infinitesimal, limitless, boundless, unmeasured. You can think of, for instance, the infinite like the sky that's without edge, an ocean without the shore. You can think of silence. Let's just sit in that for a moment. Silence. Silence is there. It's from which every sound is born, and yet everything returns to it. See, he placed this in the glossary to help you to understand that there's much more than what the eye sees, than what the ear hears, of which you have access to. The next word in the glossary is insight, a perception of the inner nature of a thing. Metaphorically, you can look at this like insight as being from a light that's within. You can tie this to intuition. Insight is something that pierces through the fog, revealing truth already what? Waiting to be seen. The truth is already there. It's just a matter of whether or not you're going to be on the frequency to be able to see it, to be able to have the insight to see it. You know what's beautiful about everything that we've been studying? As we've been studying, hasn't it been amazing and interesting that you've gained some insight about how things are made, how things are manifested? Everything's delivered the same. So again, insight, a perception of the inner nature of a thing. Now, what does this have to do with changing the results of your life? It has everything to do with changing the results of your life. Why? Because when you have a perception of the inner state of a thing, when you understand how things are made, you can apply that to deliver whatever outcome you seek. Change your income, change your lifestyle, change what you do for work. And that's a beautiful thing to get. It's a beautiful truth to be aware of. Now, before we proceed, those of you who are watching this live stream would love to tap into more of this. Go to elevitality.com